There was an incident a couple days ago where an Uber Eats driver never reported home to his wife, and they were in contact prior to his last delivery. He never came home. She called the cops to find out. They tracked where his last delivery was, and they brought the cops to the house where his last delivery was, and they searched the property and found his remains in garbage bags in the house, which is absolutely horrific, and it gives me the chills, and my heart goes out to the family of this poor Uber Eats driver. It's absolutely ridiculous and sick that someone would actually do this.
Yeah, so this happened on April 19th in Pasco County, Florida. And so I've got a few questions about this. This unfortunately is a developing story, and there's more questions than answers at this point. So unfortunately, the gentleman who had his life taken, his name was Randall Cook. And so this happened on April 19th, and this was during the dinner rush. He showed up to deliver his Uber Eats order, and shortly before he got there, the security camera cut off. So two people were seen leaving the house, and then the security camera cut off. So he had been communicating with his wife. He had been texting back and forth, and he told her he was going to be home. So within 30 minutes of him not arriving home when he was supposed to, his wife got in touch with the police. 2 days later, the cops show up at this guy's house, and they start doing some searching. And like Kim said, ultimately found his remains in trash bags. So before I forget, before we go any further, I want to thank Salty for sharing this story with me. Saltiest Gaming. He sent this to me, and we were able to get this in. We were planning on doing this story next week, but we were able to get it in this week. So thank you to Salt. Kim, this one hits close to home on so many levels.
I think to me this one hits so close to home because it could have been any one of us.
Could have been.
It literally, I don't think that this sick person really cared who it was. It
Yeah.
was just some random Uber Eats driver, and he had a wife, he had a stepdaughter. Um,
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know what the scary thing is we always talk about safety, but I don't know what he could have done differently even to prevent this, because from what the article was saying is he literally got grabbed as soon as he was delivering the order and was dragged into the house.
Yeah.
So uh,
So,
to me that's the scary part, because I think we all put ourselves, like, we all have our own safety measures that we follow, and if you don't, you should. um
yeah.
but it literally could have happened to anybody, and I think that's this really scary part of it.
Yeah. So I completely agree with what you're saying. I second this. This is horrendous, and this could have been any one of us. And my heart bleeds for that family. And this guy just looked like the all American guy. Real. We don't have a screenshot of the victim, unfortunately, but we have a screenshot of the guy that perpetrated it, and he's the screenshot speaks for itself. For those of you watching, it's a heavily tattooed man with a bunch of face and neck tattoos. He's a known gang member. So Kim and I were talking about this prior to the show, and I have some questions about this story. So it took the police 2 days after his wife's phone call to show up at this house where he was last known to be at. So I know that Uber has their own number for law enforcement to get into contact with. However, I also know that law enforcement frequently gets the runaround when they contact Uber. So my question is, did the police wait 2 days because he's, an adult and they're like, oh, he's probably on a bender or something? Or did they get the runaround from Uber and waste precious time that could have been used to potentially save this guy's life? So again, complete speculation on my part, and I do not have the answer. But that I that's a question I would like to see answered.
Yeah. If I can go back to it, there was a question. I'm trying to go back and I can't find it. Somebody asked, what is more dangerous, food delivery or rideshare?
So that was Ride Shift Dude who asked that, and I was actually going to have you put that up in a minute.
And I
So
was
that
trying to
works.
find it. I'm trying to find it.
Let me see if I can get you a timestamp.
I got it.
Okay. So this is this is an interesting question, and I've got some opinions on this, and I'd love the chat to weigh in as well, especially those of you who do both. I would say that typically rideshare is probably more dangerous because you've got people close to you who may or may not have been drinking or have consumed some other substance. So I would assume rideshare would be far more dangerous, but we are seeing more and more stories recently, unfortunately, of delivery drivers being attacked or worse. What do you think, Kim?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think rideshare is different. It's definitely more dangerous, to be honest. That's probably one of the reasons why I've only done one rideshare in my entire delivery career, and it was by complete accident.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just something I don't personally feel safe doing, but I know people who love doing it and
Yeah.
excel at it. Having people in your car and dealing with people comes with a different level of risks than
Yeah.
just going to someone's house and, putting it down. I think there is always a level of risk in anything you do, and it could be any job, whether it is even food delivery, rideshare. I mean, there's a certain level of risk even when I worked in retail, and you don't even think about it, but there's always some sort of danger
Yeah.
lurking around the corner. But I definitely think rideshare is definitely a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
Actually, a
And,
lot
and
more dangerous.
really quick, whoever's trying to twist my words about the tattoos, I have a half sleeve and a quarter sleeve. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. So I would agree. The ride shares, yeah. So I worked in a casino for many years, and I was a dealer, and I could tell when people were they were mentally like they were not there, like they were on tilt, whatever the case was, and from the moment they walked up, I could generally tell if I was going to have a problem with them. And we had a code word that we could call the floor supervisor, the pit boss, and we could say I need an aspirin, and they would pull us off the table. So we don't have that in rideshare and stuff like that. There's no get out of jail free card, right? There's no rescue immediately right there. So yeah, I would have to agree that rideshare is probably more dangerous.
Yeah.
So
So horrific story. Once again, prayers
unfortunately,
go
yeah.
out to this poor guy's family. I can't even imagine. I have no words. Thank you for checking out a clip of Money Hungry hosted by Zach from Zach Drives Fast and myself, Kim from Kim's Side Money Plans. Join us every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. If you are new to the RideShare Guy, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and make sure that bell is turned on so you know when the latest videos come out. If you're looking for the whole live, go check out this one right here. Bye, everyone.